How's it going, everybody today? It's Electron Man. Well, we're working on a Hurricane 300 two-pill 10 meter, 11 meter amplifier today, and it's made by Criscom. I had never heard of it. It's called a Hurricane 300. I need to take a look at it right here. That's kind of cool. It's got a meter on it. Anyway, I don't work on a whole lot of these. We'll call it a CB amp, CB linear. Mainly because of the fact that well, it looks like it's got a. Look at that. It's got a little. You know, I just watched a video of old BBI doing her repair, and he's talking about metal shavings, and man, there's one right there. I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but good catch, BBI. I'm glad you told me about that. I probably wouldn't have looked at that, but I just noticed we got a little. Look at that metal shaving. Boy, get that underneath the pill, and he's right, man. You'd be doing nothing but cooking your next pill you put in there. Wow, like you said, when you tighten it, it looks like you kind of pull that stuff. I'm gonna have to really clean that out good. Come on out of there. Sorry, I got diverted with this. I did see the video that was talking about that, man. I don't know if you can see those little metal streams I was getting out of there, but I'm gonna really have to make sure and clean those good. Any of the other ones got those? I'm gonna have to. They need to kind of bevel them in a little bit so that doesn't happen. Damn, I can see that being a problem for sure. Anyway, like I said, I don't do a whole lot of these. One is I do not have any near the knowledge of somebody like BBI. There's a couple other amp builders out there that, man, they blow me away with all the knowledge they've gathered on these things. But I got enough to know how to fix one most of the time anyway. But I don't, like I said, I don't really do a whole lot of fixing on them because of the fact of that these pills here are so dang expensive. This particular one had a couple MRF 454s in it. We'll get to that here in a minute. But anyway, they're so expensive that, you know, unless you're a real amp guy, you know, the customers I've had, they freak out by the fact that, you know, I mean, even a 454, and it's not going to be a Motorola, it's going to be, you know, an off-brand. It's going to be, you know, 40, 50 bucks a piece to put them in there. And by the time I do, I mean, basically comes down to, you know, about any amp repair, especially you got to put pills in it, it's going to run you a couple $100. And you know, a lot of these guys pick these things up at flea markets, or they've had them for years or whatever. And you know, and if it's got the Toshibas in it, I mean, I think they're running about $200 a pill now. So I mean, you know, two pill like this, if it had the Toshibas in it, if you wanted to go back true red dot Toshibas, you know, you're talking $400 just in pills, plus time and labor. And you know, I got to make a little money too. But anyway, I'm way off in the weeds on that. But I kind of brought. I wasn't even going to put this. I wasn't even going to make a video on this. I was just. This happens to be an amp that I inherited, and I'm going through all my stuff. I got this new shop going, and I'm just kind of, you know, I don't want to bring junk in. So as I take it from my old shop, and move to my new shop, I've been testing a lot. That's why I've been having a lot of CB repair videos. But anyway, I had this amp. It's been sitting on my shelf for a long time, so I went in and opened it up yesterday, and got in here and got to checking on it, and you know, did some normal testing, and basically, you know, it had no output. It had receive, it power on, but it had no. It even had receive, but it had no output. I mean, you know, when you turn the amp off, I'd have my normal, you know, 5 to 12 swing or whatever the radio I was feeding it to. But when I turned it on, it dropped down to 2. So my initial response was, well, I've got 2 bad pills, or at least 1 bad pill. So anyway, I went ahead and pulled the pills out. I pulled the pills out of it, and see, BBI or somebody like that probably would have never. They'd have caught this before they got this far. But you know, the only way I really know how to test them is pull the pills out. Well, I got the pills pulled out, and what's blowing me away is I pulled the pills out and tested the pills. The pills are fine. I say fine. Their gain's like 46, and I think 48, something like that. They weren't bad. I mean, they're still usable pills. And I'm like, what the hell? I mean, first, why did I pull these pills, and what could be wrong with this? You know, I mean, the the 10K, the resistors here are not blown. You know, usually that's the telltale sign when these two resistors here are popped that that you've blown a final, which I probably should have known from that observer right there that maybe the pills weren't bad. But I mean, all indications weren't no output. But anyway, I'm way off in the weeds here. But so anyway, I pull like I said, I pull the pills and I test the pills, and the pills are good. And I know the relays are working. How the receiving amplifier's even working on it. So what could it be? Well, I got the sniffing around in here, and basically, I believe, we'll find out. I might put it all back together now. I'm going to definitely clean these pockets out. I do not like seeing that, the way them corners are. I'm going to have to figure out some way to kind of bevel those down a little bit and get any of that aluminum out of there. I sure don't want any of that under the pill, but anyway, I got to looking, and then I got the digital voltmeter, which is what I probably should have done to start with. And I realized, I don't know if you can see it or not, but on this transformer here, I call it a transformer, not an inductor. I mean, different names you could do. Basically, it's a transformer. If you look, the solder joint is broke going down from the bridge down to the circuit board, and it, you know, it doesn't move around. But if you took a meter, which I have to turn the camera around, but you know, basically, I should have to make sure I got 12 volts going into it. When I have 12 volts going into it, you know, you obviously got to feed your pill, and we'll go ahead and hit ground here. When I hit ground here, I test this one, and yeah, it's got the 13 volts like it should have. Then I go to this one, and I got no voltage. I'm like, what the heck? It's a straight connection. So anyway, long story short on this, it looks like the whole problem with this amp is basically one side of this transformer here. I believe my whole problem is I basically just have a bad solder joint down here where it connects down to the circuit board. So we're going to go in here, we're going to solder that in. I'm going to clean this pockets up real good. I'm going to put the pills back in it, and we're going to see if that is actually the fact. And then we'll just kind of play with the amp a little bit. Anyway, hopefully this all makes sense to you. Let me get off of here and go ahead and clean this up. And I mean, the amp itself, I mean, it's clean. It's not what I call a gorgeous design or anything, and it's kind of, I've seen a lot of these with the circuit board setting up right like that with the relays on it, but I mean, it's laid out nice, and there's no burns on the circuit board. I mean, definitely worth me spending a little time with, see if I can get it back up and going. Okay, I got her all back soldered in after I took the finals out for basically no reason at all. Lesson learned. Well, I guess got to test them anyway and found out they're a pretty good match pair. But anyway, as you can see, I got them back in. I need to go in here. I'm kind of like BBI. I like my stuff to be clean. I'll go ahead and clean the flux up. That I got a little bit of flux on there now. It's not real dirty, but I'll go ahead and clean it up. But anyway, let's go ahead and check her out. I'm about 99% sure that definitely was it. You know, it's funny. One of them, I always go simple then go hard, and this is one of the times I didn't go simple then go hard. I made the big assumption that out off the bat that I had a couple of bad pills, and you know, when I initially hooked it up, looking for my probe here, but when I initially hooked it up, I mean, it had all the telltale signs. I mean, when the bypass looked good, powered it up, no output. You know, been sitting on my shelf for a couple of years. Somebody dropped off because they said they burned it up. Pretty much just, you know, went to the straight assumption. If I had just simply went in here and checked my my voltages on my feeds, I would have caught that real quick that on that pill I wasn't getting any voltage. And it's just a broke solder joint. I might have to be easy on this. This is a 300. I'm not sure what actually. It's called a Modulator bilinear Hurricane 300, but it's a 2-pill. Those are 280 watt pills, so I'm guessing I should see somewhere around probably 140 to 160, and then maybe swing to 220, 225. But anyway, like I said, my test bench, I'm using this BK Service Master here, the dummy loading it, and it's only rated for 100 watts, and I think it's rated for 300 for like 5 seconds. So anyway, we'll key her up. Main thing I wanted to see if I actually got her back up and running. I've got her on a bigger power supply right now than my bench power supply, because obviously I know it's going to pull more amperage than that. But let's fire her up with off first, and head audio. Head audio. Well, pass-through's good. How's our reflected? That's I don't need that on there. Let's see, reflected. Yeah, we're getting about a half watt reflected. That's good. Sounds like the bias is pretty good in it. Of course, I didn't change any of the configuration, so it should be what it was. Let's go ahead and power up, put her on low. I already said I'd already checked earlier, and I know that receive is definitely working. Not the greatest one. I need to get that transistor number that BBI is using. He says it gives them a little more forward bias, get a little bit better receive out of them, but it's definitely working. I know that's going to be that transistor right there. I'd just like to know what that hotter one is he's putting in them. But anyway, here I digress. Let's see if the amp works. Got her powered up, got her in low range, high range on my test meter. Hello, hello, there we go. Hello. Amazing. Yes, guys, it's working. I'm not amazed it's working. I'm amazed that I pull these pills for absolutely nothing. We'll go ahead and go into medium. Working good. And we'll just momentarily hit high. Hello. Whoa. Yeah, she's pegging that 100, so hello. I have to get a bigger meter out if I want to see exactly what it is, but it's fixed. That's the main thing we're going at here. And we'll kind of look at that and see hello audio. Hello audio. Yeah, she's doing the business. Awesome. Well, I guess a big lesson on this one is if you're going to go on and service an amp, make sure first thing the pills are getting power to them. Wow. What a thing to miss. Anyway, we're going to go in here and we're going to do a little BBI. I'm with him. This type of power wire is crap. Look at this crap, man. It looks like they're running off speaker wires. We'll go ahead and cut all that out and put a nice garment in there. And I mean, this is only a 302 pill, so I'll probably run some, maybe 10. But I'll put some good wire in there and clean it up a little bit, get the flux off of it, and we'll come back. Okay, there she is, all cleaned up. I got all the spooge off of it from the flux, at least most of it. I couldn't get all of it, but I didn't want to scrub too hard and start breaking wires and stuff, but definitely got her a whole lot cleaner. I went in here and this has got that vertical board, and I noticed the high sense and stress cracks down there at the bottom that kind of concerned me, so I went ahead and resoldered all of them, kind of went in there and cleaned up any solder that I saw. And as you can see, I went back with some nice high-grade silver strand 12 AG silicone wire, which should be more than enough for a 2-pill. Comparative to the 8 gauge, to the 16 gauge, to the 12 gauge, to the 22 gauge speaker wire, wiring it out in it before, I think she's a lot better off. And I left a couple extra feet on her. I didn't put a connector on it and went ahead and tinned up the ends. At least that forces them to not just twist the wires. They definitely, I put some connectors on there, or whoever decides to hook it up how they want to go with it. But gave him plenty of length here. Gave him a couple feet of some good silicone wire. Like I said, this is good 12 gauge stranded. But anyways, you can see we got it all cleaned up, all put back together. I wish I had a little bit of black paint. I'm going to need to run over to the hardware store and pick me up a rattle can of some black paint. And I went ahead and cleaned the fins out, straightened them all up. Kind of just went through it, like I said, cleaned the whole thing off, got all the spooge, made it look a lot better, straightened out the resistors. I got a little OCD in me, and I don't like things laying over and uneven, so kind of cleaned her up there. But there she is. I'm going to go ahead and put the cover back on her, and we'll finalize this with a little, see how she performs. Okay, here we are, all done, back together. I cleaned her up best I could. I straightened all the fins out, like I said earlier, and cleaned the front the best I could. It's kind of got this weird gray, and you can barely, I guess the red's just kind of faded out on it. And anyway, we got her back together here, all sorted out, and kind of just show you what we got going now here. Go ahead and turn her off first. And let's see, let me go into forward power here. Go in that. There's what I'm feeding into her, about 2.5 swinging, about 5. This little stock radio I had sitting here that I'm just using to drive it with. Go ahead and power her up. Then we'll turn the receive on. As you can see, the receive working. We'll put her in low. And on that scale, I'm sure she's going to kill it. Bam. Yeah, she's going to kill it. So let me move over to the 100 watt scale. Okay, I'm over on the 100 watt scale in low right now. So if you're looking at that scale, full scale is 100 watts. So we're dead keying about 40, swinging about right at 100. And that's at low. And then let's go ahead and kick her into medium. Oh yeah, nothing but meter there. Dead keying about 50, right at 50. Probably swinging about 120 or so. And then let's go ahead and go into high. Hello. So we're dead keying about 80. And we're just tearing that needle up. Unfortunately, on my little tester here, that's all I got is 100 watts. But as you can tell, she's putting it in that corner, in the corner, in the corner, in the corner. Hello, hello, audio. I'd say that's one good performing little linear there. All because it had a broke connection on the transformer. I spend most of my time fixing CBs. My bench isn't set up for it, as you can tell. I mean, I'd need like a good can, 2 kV or 3 kV dummy load. I definitely need a bigger power supply. I'm just feeding, the biggest one I got sitting out right now is 30 amp. And of course I can go get a battery and feed it off a battery. But anyway, this really about 2 pills, all I'm willing to really kind of look at on this anyway. I mean, you got guys like BBI and them, man, they got a whole bench set up for this. I do have a spectrum analyzer, which I just checked it and it's clean. But but like I said, I'm more geared. I do more CB repair than I do linear. But it's kind of fun to get in one once in a while. This one was really fun. I'd actually went out and about the only place I'll buy, transistors for linears, RF parts. I went out to eBay and you can pick up some MRFs there. Who knows, quality or what, some God knows name, and they were about 30 to 40 a piece. And then I went out to RF parts and I could get a match set out there of MRF 454s for I think $99. So that was the direction I was going to go if I thought I needed the pills. But it still would have been 100 pills plus cleanup and everything. You're still talking a $200 amp. But as it turned out, this is kind of cool. I'm gonna probably keep this around. I don't know. I might sell it. I don't need it, but anyway, it's kind of cool that it turned out I didn't even need pills. It was just a blind sight by me to go assuming, and instead of really checking her out good. But anyway, as you can see here, I have brought a linear back from the grave. I think that's pretty cool. Hope you enjoyed this video. I know it's kind of off topic. I do a lot of product reviews and box openings and a lot of CB repairs, but I thought it kind of neat to throw a little solid state linear in there. And I've got a little tube one I'm going to throw in here a little later too, and I'll kind of talk about that when I get to it. That's a whole nother gamut. I wouldn't even touch it if I didn't have a variresistor. But anyway, have a great day out there. This is Electron Man. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe.